What will you do when at the peak of your career, everything in your life comes crashing down? This movie is a biopic following a few years in the life of mixed martial artist Mark Kerr, one of the innovators in the competitive world of mixed martial arts, whose legacy can be traced all the way to the massive brand that is the UFC today. Few celebrities have cemented as large of a brand as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He is a mainstay in film history for the action comedy genre, a box that he virtually never steps outside of. And like Taylor Swift, if you do want to break out of that box, you need to be meticulous about your strategy on how you plan to go about doing that. In this movie, Dwayne completely reimagines himself to become the man that is Mark Kerr. Whether it was the great prosthetics that morphed his face into an unrecognizable version of himself, or his will to be redefined as an actor in Hollywood, The Rock gave the performance of his life in this movie. Mark Kerr was one of the first major superstars in the mixed martial arts world. He was dominant. Before today, where you see in the UFC, you get months to prepare for one fight, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, on one night you would fight multiple people back to back to back to see who was the best. And in that grueling setting, he would defeat his opponents back to back to back, with each match lasting a few minutes at best, as he would dominate them on the ground. As flashy as those wins were, alongside his decorated college career in wrestling, the reason this sports story was so interesting that it needed to become first a documentary and now a biopic movie connected to major actors is because he had this massive success in the fighting world, while behind the scenes, his world was falling apart. He was dealing with addiction to painkillers, cognitive dissonance with his success, and anger issues that wore down his relationship with his girlfriend, who in the movie is played by Emily Blunt. This superhuman, invincible man was unraveling internally in Shakespearean fashion. His life became an emotionally chaotic tragedy about how greatness and brokenness can coexist in the same man. If you're enjoying this clip from my podcast, Behold Pop Culture, like and subscribe for more content like this, and the link to the full podcast is in the description. The Rock took up the challenge of honoring his legacy in a way where both him and Emily Blunt carried the film with their emotional performances. As I watched the movie, one major question stood out to me. Is all that success worth it if it costs you your relationships, your sanity, and your health, mostly in exchange for the fame and wealth? Professional athletes face that question every single time they go to work, knowing that they're risking major damage to their bodies. But on a more relatable scale, how many late nights are you willing to work? How many early mornings are you willing to give? All to make your dreams come true. Chasing your goals is risky and it can break you like it did Mark Kerr. But highlighting stories like his is meant to show the importance of being mindful of your own health, relationships, and sanity on pursuit of making your dreams come true. The man who on the outside was only perceived as a smashing machine had his biggest fight inside of him. The Rock is going to get Academy Award-winning attention for how well he portrayed these emotions. But the writing of the film might have sold it short of delivering the emotional punch needed to actually secure the win in these award races. Just like Taylor being boxed into being a hopeless romantic, like The Rock being boxed into the unshakable, charismatic action hero, and like Mark Kerr being boxed into just a smashing machine, there is always more when you take a look under the hood. And it takes special attention to make sure that you take care of that part of you, the part that the rest of the world may never get a chance to see.